Hey everybody, welcome back to Around the Emirates podcast with Sara Mousa, where I speak to guests from across the UAE about topics you want to hear about. Today I am joined by Simone Gibertoni, who is CEO of Clinique La Prairie, one of the world's most exclusive clinics that focuses mainly on rejuvenation, anti-aging, and so many more cool things for health. Welcome to the show, Simone.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for having me today.
It's an absolute pleasure. I'd love to hear more about your story. Please tell me what got you started in this industry and we can take it from there.
Thank you. Yes, listen, it's a long story, in fact, because I started in a completely different industry. I started in banking. Then I wanted to do consulting. I had this passion for consulting. So I moved from banking to consulting. I did many years of consulting. Then I decided to go to a completely different industry. And I moved to cosmetic. And I did many years in cosmetic and did many years in China. I launched a lot of different brands in cosmetic. I started in reality in makeup, then I moved to skincare, which became my great passion, cosmetic skincare. So, and I worked for many years, over 15 years in skincare. And again, I would really say all over the world, I was traveling, Sarah, like 80% of my time between US, spending 10 days every month in China. So it's been a very, very beautiful adventure. But then at a certain point, I was feeling the need, it's beautiful to sell all day long cosmetic, but I wanted to do something different, something more impactful for the people. And I was reached out by the family, which is owning Clinique La Prairie. They asked me to join the clinics, and since 8 years I'm at Clinique La Prairie. We started a wonderful journey, and at the core of this journey, there's this idea of, if I may, let's say, mention the vision that we have, which is also my mission, in a sense, is helping people and inspiring people to live a longer, healthier, and better life, which is what we do every day.
I love that. I love the fact that you've combined such a extensive journey, a career journey across the world to create something so beautiful that helps people and makes people feel better about themselves as well. Now, you've just mentioned so many countries that you've been to, so much travel, and of course, just a wealth of expertise to become the CEO of this company. What would you say has been your biggest challenge to this point, and how have you overcome it?
That's a wonderful question, Sarah. I think always our biggest challenge is in reality is always ourselves. So we are our biggest challenge. So I would say that when you want to grow, you have always to face your comfort zone. It's always, and it's the same with companies. I just had a workshop with my manager 2 days ago, and I started telling them the problem of companies is always a problem of leadership. It's always a problem of the people which are running the company, and it's always a problem of our mindset. Then the problem of our mindset is becoming a problem of the company. So to answer to your question, I would say that the biggest challenge for me is when I came to CLP was bring a new culture in the company, this culture of what we are just discussing now, which of course was already there, but was at the same time the culture of how can we be much more innovative than we were in the past? How can we create an ecosystem around our clients, which is really making Clinique La Prairie impactful with our clients? And how can we do this with a culture of empathy and care for our clients? So I would say moving from a company which was doing beauty, which was serving clients, to a company which is really becoming a life changer for our clients. So this, I would say, is the first challenge that we had. Again, it's a question of culture, it's a question of mindset. Then, I think the challenge that we have as CEO and that we have in general is always to keep a very open-minded approach. So the question, I'm asking 2 questions every morning. What can I do better today in terms of personal, from a personal standpoint, but also from a company standpoint? I'm not a big believer, Sarah, of the great breakthrough. And one day you wake up and you completely change your life, or you launch a product which is making a revolution. I'm much more advocating small changes every day, which in the long term are bringing to dramatic change. And the second question is, what can I learn today? What can I learn different today? What can I learn new today? And I think keeping this open-minded approach it seems easy, but it's very difficult because we tend to, all of us, to get in our comfort zone, especially when you are successful, especially when your company is successful. You tend to say, listen, everything is going fine. Why I should change? Why I should do things differently? And that's the biggest challenge. You know, we say there is only one thing that can happen to number one. I believe Clinique La Prairie in our field is the number one, but there is only one thing that can happen is become number two, right? And so we always need to keep this attitude of doing better every day.
I love that. I love the fact that you don't see yourself as, oh, I'm CEO, I'm at the top. Like this is, I'm fine where I am, and like I don't have to do it better than this. I love the fact that it's an evolution for you. You're constantly trying to think of better ways, not just to be to enhance yourself and your personal skills and your personal development, but also how to do the best for your company, learning from previous experiences and knowing that there's no kind of one size fits all, especially for the nature of the industry that you're in. It's something that is tailored to your customers, and it's also a journey that will continue to evolve. It's you're never stagnant, but you're always thinking ahead. And with that in mind, is there potentially an experience that happened to you that really shifted your perspective on where you are today, or something that really helped shape the person who you are today?
There are a lot of experience that shaped me. Let's say, I would say every time I had a crisis in the company I was running on a personal level, I use this crisis to ask myself again what I can do better. But you asked me before the call also maybe to talk about a funny moment that I had recently that caused a reflection to me. I want to mention something funny that happened to me in reality a few weeks ago. No? And I have two kids, two twins, and they are 14. No? And one of my kids is asking me, Papa, can I start to look at YouTube, and can you give me a software to make videos? Because I love to see videos, I love to make videos, and me, from my experience, I'm telling him, listen, yes, you can do, but it's going to be very difficult for you. There are millions of people out there doing videos. Look at what we do in Clinique La Prairie. Every time we do a video, I mean, to get it out, to get views, super difficult. So, okay, do it. I'm happy if you do it. But, stay calm. Don't get disappointed if... and, after the 1 week, the video of his name is Tommaso, got 3 million views, which I never got in Clinique La Prairie. And this was an eye-opener for me, because I said, oh my God, look what's happening. And you know why? Because he was able to, of course, he did something which was very targeted to his community of kids like him. And he was able to understand very precisely what his community wanted, and was able to produce something that was really very well welcome from his community. And why I'm telling you it was an eye-opener, because this is another thing that we tend to forget in business, that the focus to our customer, the focus on our customer needs, the focus on our customer wants is the starting point of every good business. Is serving the customer, is really understanding what our customer wants, and really exceeding the expectation of our customer. We always tend to forget that everything starts from understanding the need of our customer.
I love that. I love the fact that something so simple as a YouTube video that was unexpected for you to even to go and create that actually turned into almost like a life lesson for you in a funny way. And the fact that it showed you the importance of, as you said, keeping an open mind, looking at new and different ways to understand your target audiences and how to engage with them. At the end of the day, as you said, it is about what your target audiences need. It's the demand in the market of what is required for you to provide. But it's also just human to human understanding what their services are that are required. How can you help them? How can you help them feel better? And also how can you just guide your team and thinking the same way that you think? How can you teach that to your team? Because it is from the top down. Leadership in companies, as you've said, they're the ones that kind of set the pace and set the tone for how the company is run. And that takes me to my final question for you today. You've shared a lot of words of wisdom here. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a great business lesson for a 14 years old boy, you see? how
I
fun it
love
is,
that. I
you
love
know?
the fact that it was unexpected from, from a 14-year-old kid who obviously like has not had major business experience, but it's something that was so fundamental in what it is. Like it's the symbolism of that happening and how that impacted you and how that could impact other people, to think of the concept of relating to your target audience, understanding who you're speaking to and how to best service them. And I would love to hear if you have any kind of final words of wisdom for the listeners today.
Let me say, uh, we are talking about longevity in Clinique La Prairie. So if I may share something, is something related to longevity. And my invitation to the listener that you have is really to take time for themselves and to try. Even a lot of your listeners are very busy. I'm sure you are also, Sara, very busy, and we tend to forget that health and wellness, health especially, is something that we don't think about when we have it, but unfortunately is the only thing that we think about when we don't have it anymore. And of course, we tend to forget it, right? Then, when you have a problem of health, it's not about money, it's not about experience, it's just about this. So, the importance of creating in our routine just an hour every day, which is dedicated to ourselves, which is dedicated to our body, which is dedicated to nutrition, which is dedicated maybe to spirituality, maybe to meditation, is super, super important. And I believe why I'm telling you about routine, because I believe that if it's not becoming a routine, we don't do it. You know, it's again, there's the new year resolution. Okay, from tomorrow, I'm going to change everything. I'm going to eat in a different way. I'm going to do sport. I'm going to do 3 hours of bicycle every day. It's impossible. Much better to create a routine. I suggest to create this routine early in the morning, because you are sure it's going to become the first things that you do every day, but really to take 1 hour every day for you, for your mindset, for your spirituality, and for your body is something that is going to pay a lot of interest in the future.
That is beautiful. I love the fact that you didn't just focus your answer on kind of, rejuvenation and like physical health, but also on mental health, also on spirituality, also on kind of reconnecting with yourself and knowing that our lives are so short and it's so important that we take good care of ourselves, whether it's half an hour of meditation a day, whether it's even 20 minutes of sports a day, whether it's a really strong skincare routine, rejuvenation as part of your routine. It is so important that we don't forget these things and don't let the drop ball on them, because if we, as you said, if we don't do it consistently in a routine, we tend to forget these things if we forget ourselves in the midst of kind of the 9 to 5 corporate job. So I'm really grateful and appreciative that you shared such wise words of wisdom that even reminded me of the importance of my health as well.
And by the way, you mentioned, Sarah, two great examples. 20 minutes of meditation, may I suggest the transcendental meditation, and 20 minutes of exercise. Maybe yoga, where that you can do everywhere, even if you are traveling in an hotel room. But this is enough. You see, 20 minutes of meditation, 20 minutes of yoga, it's already a life-changing routine that you can add to your life.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing those words of wisdom and for sharing such a colorful story. The fact that you have not just stayed in your lane and continue to kind of do like kind of just walk in a straight line. You've done so many things that are outside the box in countries that are have so much cultural impact as well on you very clearly. And the fact you speak with such ambition and passion, and is wonderful to see C-suite leaders like you out there in the world inspiring people to do better.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Thank you so much for your time, Simone. Take care.